Hey everyone, just a little quick note here before we get into the video proper. I have to sincerely apologise for the quality of the recording of this video. I don't know what happened with my recording software. It just seemed to have a bit of a freak out where the amount of dropped frames in this part is just absolutely ludicrous. There are certain sections, the opening section with the rotating platforms, and also the boss in this video as well. Just huge parts where it's literally the video just completely skips. God knows how many frames, just seemingly completely at random. And this video was an absolute bugger to try and piece together with the audio and the video. So all I can say is I've done my best to try and make things match about as good as I can, but as I say, with so many frames skipped, and you'll see it almost immediately, it is ludicrous. But yeah, I've tried to at least match the sort of the sections of the video in the areas with so they're sort of timed out with the audio. So for instance, at the beginning of, for instance, the rotating platform section, the audio and the video start off at the same point, and then the audio and the video end at the sort of the same point again. But in between that, it's a little bit of a mess. There are other areas that aren't so great. It's not the entire video. There are areas that actually are okay. Yeah, it was that bad. I was seriously considering actually re-recording it again, or playing through the game again to re-record this whole section. But frankly, again, I don't know if I just suffer the same thing. I feel like the rotating platforms in particular, and you'll say when you see it, you'll know what I'm on about. I don't know what I could really do to counter that. It just almost seems like by the speed of the rotating platforms, particularly in one section, just makes the recording software not able to pick it up very well at all. But yeah, anyway, bit of a long intro before we kick off this video. But yeah, I wanted to say something up front rather than just leave something in the comment section, because not everyone reads those. But yeah, sincere apologies for the quality of the video recording in this video. It is pretty bad. I did think about re-recording it, but I'm not sure I'd be able to fix it, or it may just happen again. So I've decided to go with the footage I already recorded, and yeah, hopefully there's still some enjoyment to be had, and it's not a total whitewash. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Hello, Muster0063 here for part 4 of Domu. Last time I completed the third branching path down at the bottom, or the third path I could actually get to, one on the right hand side, where we got to the growth area, which was a thing. It's okay, the gimmick, but yeah, I do find it a little bit awkward, and I say that last screen can just piss off. Then we get to the futuristic unsettled, I think it was, or something like that. Anyway, the sort of futuristic like laser robot kind of or laser area anyway, which is a really fun one. I think actually a nice sort of contrast, if you will, to the growth one. But anyway, yeah, cleared the boss, and made my way back up through the sort of hub area into this area. So yeah, I sort of showed off this gimmick at the end of last time, just to show it off. And well, that was appallingly timed all round. Let's hope the gameplay is a bit better than that through the rest of the level. But yeah, I did show this off. It's a rotating platform gimmick. So if you stand on the platform when it's sort of on the right-hand side, then it will rotate. Similarly as well, the left-hand side, although the left-hand side will make it go backwards. Bother! I got quite a long way through there, and I'm very annoyed that I messed up on those bats there. But oh well, there are quite a lot of bats there, and yeah, be forewarned. Yeah, bats are going to be the obstacle of the moment. I'm just going to let that play out for the moment, and yeah, fine, cool, through there, and then yeah, we need the rotating platform pretty much all the way to the right hand side so we can make it over to this area. Cool, nice. Anyway, that was the horizontal rotating platform. What? Why? I swear to God, I hit the save there. I was definitely in the thing, I definitely shot it, but oh well, apparently not. Apparently I'm going to have to do this again. Not that it's the most awkward thing in the world, but really? I absolutely was sworn that I hit the save there, and now this is just completely... Although yeah, I still should have made that gate jump, but I was all over the place there. It was not set up how I wanted it to. I'm not surprised that went belly up, but... seriously, I'm pretty sure... Okay, I will make an absolute point then this time of not even bothering to try and make it that go climb this time, I'm just going to make a point of hitting the save. There. Okay, it actually it doesn't actually start in going up this shaft until I've actually hit the save and or jumped up maybe. Anyway, yeah, obviously I was presumably rushing the beginning bit of that, and yeah, completely unnecessarily by the look of it then. Anyway, yeah, now I can finally say we're past the horizontal part of it. Now we're into the vertical part of it, which can be a bit of a thing. But what? I thought I'd cleared those bats easily, but this feels, to be honest, like very much like a timing thing. So once you get the hang of what you're trying to do, it sort of becomes the same thing every time. Although this is absolutely atrocious. Yeah. So I effectively want to rush to the point where I can get this platform. Wow, seriously, twizzling round so that I can get well out of the range of this long one coming up from beneath me here. And then hopefully, yeah, you can do a bit better on the next bit. And then I want to sort of stall it out here, and then rotate through when obviously the gap in the bats is there. And then you don't have to worry about the end. It will stop here, as it clearly has done when it reaches the top. Nicely in range of the platforms up above, and with a great, and you just and miles away from the bats. So you just need to wait for the opening in the bat circle and then proceed. Nice, cool, fine. And now we go on to a diagonal one. So we've had the horizontal, we've had the vertical, now we get the diagonal. This time the bats are even more annoying, if that were at all possible. They start shooting at you. So less of them. Or fewer of them, I should say. But yeah, they start shooting at you now, and it becomes a bit of a thing. And there's only one at the moment, but yeah, that's going to get a bit more crowded in a moment. Yeah. Similarly with the one, as I sort of showed up with the right, if it goes to the left, then, or if you're on the left-hand side, then yeah, it'll rotate on the left. It can be incredibly disorientating, by the way. These. This isn't a bad strategy if you want to sort of rotate the platforms like slowly, where you sort of like jump on one and then off one pretty straight almost immediately afterwards. After a certain point, the bats should go away, but not before you stupidly fail to land back on the platform, fall into the pit and die. Fan-flipping-tastic. Yeah, after you get to a certain point, wow, that was just dreadful all round. Yeah, the bats will go away, and that was the point I was looking for. They had disappeared. There were a few more shots. I just had a few more of these projectiles. I just had to navigate round, but managed to screw it up. Fantastic. Anyway, it's not a terribly long set of section. It's pretty fun for the most part. However frustrated I'm getting at the moment with just things that are not working out in my favour at the moment. I'm getting like to the ends of sections and then pissing up, which is not good. I'm also way ahead of myself here because I'm like glitching through the platforms and going way too quickly for my own good there. Gee whiz. And here I am again, on this bit. So this would be a sort of a strategy if you wanted to go slow. I've sort of taken way too many liberties there and did that a lot quicker than I otherwise normally would. And it's happened again. I thought the bats had gone away. The one at the top there, I thought one of them had. The one at the top remained. It was about to shoot again. I got all flustered and again somehow missed the platform. And now I'm just jumping into projectiles left, right, and centre, and I'm not doing a very good job at all. Still, it's fun for the most part. So messing up on like the final little bit is not fun, but that aside, it's a pretty fun mechanic actually. I do like this section quite a bit, ordinarily. So yeah, I took this way too quick for my own good, but it's sort of I suppose a decent enough way to sort of to keep the platform. What is wrong with me? Rotating and so that you're not kind of getting stalled out. Because if the platform sort of starts to, if you sort of end up going to, or certainly on this one, or indeed the top one, too far over to the left, then it sort of stalls out and then it starts rotating back to the left. It can be very hard to sort of get it back in the cycle that you want it to. So the most, keeping it going in the direction you want is useful, and not having to sort of backtrack and have it sort of slow down to any massive extent. But easier said than done. And I'm finding it incredibly difficult at the moment not to just jump straight into projectiles. Come on, concentrate. Or, if nothing else, just a good pattern. Thank you, that should be good. And we'll get up before the next ones catch up with me. Yay, wonderful. Right, okay, that was a hell of a thing. Right, let's do a bit of a setup first off. We will put that platform over there a bit. As you can probably guess, based on the fact that there were two platforms here, we're going to be not only using the one that I'm on at the moment, up at the top, but we're going to actually blast it. Actually going to be using the one at the bottom as well. So yes, I would like that platform, or that, you know, set of rotating platforms, over to the right-hand side, through the wall, so that I can actually use them. Now this bit here is where the I would say the intricacy of these things becomes quite awkward. But yeah, and as you can see here, sort of mucking around with that. I'm also going to leave the platforms there in range, because my end goal is going to be right over to the right-hand side. But I want to be able to obviously still get on those platforms. So now this I'm going to take, or try and take at least, quite slowly, because I'm very conscious of the spikes there that I do not want to jump into. Cool, managed to pull that off. Good. Now, I obviously could have gone further over the right-hand side with that platform, but it's not necessary. It's not where you need to go. I couldn't make any of the jumps up the ledges there, so I would have had to go back to the left anyway, but yeah, obviously I knew where I was going, so cool. And I think that's the end of the rotating platform sections. And yeah, fine, whatever. I'll show off what happens if you go down here. I might have to talk over that in case I get a copyright claim or anything like that, but yeah. Sort of movie intro music. And yeah, by the way, in case you couldn't tell, I can't do anything. So yeah, I can't shoot, I can't move, and splat. So yeah, going over to the right-hand side, not helpful. I've messed that up. I need to do this all in one go without the use of a jump. If you've got wind of that, yeah, that sort of thing on the left-hand side there, do not worry, I won't be going anywhere near that. That's in its own little enclosed... yes, good. That's in it's its own little enclosed box, if you will, and I can't get anywhere near it anyway. So yeah, if you think I'm going to have to do anything with that, with those, wow, that cherry spinning thing, then yeah, rest assured, no, nothing to do with that. But yeah, on the right-hand side, keep your double jumps. You're going to need it right at the end. And you're also going to need your double jump here. Nice. And also, again, that right-hand side bit with the cherries, just you don't need to go anywhere over there, so yeah, don't worry about it. And now we're into the fear section, which is a mixed bag of gimmicks and stuff like that, and for the most part is really fun. So anyway, let's kick off. And first off, we get the chasing kind of gimmick. So a bit like Super Mario Sunshine, if you will. The the Paint Mario, or no, not Paint Mario. The what? I touched that spike. Wow. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. The paintbrush Mario. Whoever I can't remember his bloody name, but anyway, yeah, he does a lot of the. Although it's the other way round, I guess, where you're actually chasing him. But yeah, we've got a kid kind of behind us that we need to outrun, and yeah, watch out for that dick move right there. Again, completely unnecessary. If the red kid catches up to you, it's a death. So yeah, obviously just stay ahead of it. You can, and I might get to show that off in a little while, sort of just dodge and weave and bob around a bit to sort of, you know, he will follow exactly the same path you do. So that's how he works. But yeah, completely unnecessary dick trap there, where you have to, once falling down onto that screen, immediately, or not quite immediately, but pretty soon, you need to jump over to the right and yeah, not land on the spikes, not fall so low that you can't make it up with the jump to get over there, and not jump too soon so that you hit the bump on the right hand wall that you can't make it over there. Yeah, completely freaking unnecessary. Now, I think what you're probably supposed to do is use 2 blocks. I suppose I could show that off, couldn't I? Show that off once. After that, I'm probably not going to bother, because you can do it quite easily with just the one. But I will show it off, why not? But yeah, with 2 blocks down here, well, ordinarily I'd say that jump is a lot easier. And it certainly is, but yeah, it's not strictly necessary. You could actually do it without any blocks, but frankly, that's sort of beyond Well, not beyond me. I'm sure I could pull it off, but frankly, I'm not sure I see the benefit to trying to muck around doing it. In fact, I might just... I don't know what I might just do at the moment. I'm trying to get a little bit of extra distance. I swear I should be able... That doesn't seem like it's going to help at all. I swear that I should just be able to fall and then do that. Yeah, okay. Let's just jump a little bit later there. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, anyway, you can use 2 blocks, but it's a bit of a waste of time, I think. You know, one should be perfectly sufficient there. Okay, let's time this out. Go now. Damn it. Slightly too late. And that's a bit irritating because I've now got to do this again. Although it's not the worst thing in the world. That's way too early. And as you saw, actually, I'm actually managed to mess up with 2 blocks anyway, so the 2 blocks is no guarantee, so I figure I'd probably get it more times than I would with the 1 block, but maybe I can just... can I actually just fall past 2 spikes? Yes, okay, that would make things a lot easier. Right, go now. Okay, that timing was better. That was not. Okay, now we're going to see me bob and weave because I messed up that spectacularly, but messed up getting on the block in order to get up to the other area. But yeah, that was another area, obviously, with a version of the kid chasing us. So yeah, you saw me sort of head over to the right and then jump back over to the left to get out of its way. So yeah, a little demonstration there of you know, the bobbing and the weaving that can be in place in order to get through these areas. And yeah, don't just think that's 1 screen. There are 2 here, and I've actually managed to make it with all the cliff jumps and the spikes in the way as well. That's pretty nice. And here's a nice little area. Makes absolutely no sense when you sort of first encounter it, but yeah, and it's incredibly disorientating. But of course, yeah, what's actually going on here are these blocks, plastic and spikes, are just sort of, you know, floating around. It almost feels like there's sort of black hole physics are kind of in play here, but yeah, it's incredibly disorientating. It's very difficult to know or to appreciate where you need to go first off, so yeah. But a nice gimmick, and we haven't seen the last of that either. And do watch out for the falling blocks there, and these spikes. They will, if any of those hit you, they'll kill you. And this time, don't rush to go for the save. You'll likely get dicked over by a spike falling onto screen, but ahead of you this time. So if you thought, oh goodness, there's going to be a spike coming down, and rush to get there, chances are you're going to get spiked. So yeah, that time, another dick move, but that time, just wait a little bit, and you'll be fine. Right. Okay, so this area now takes us, or once we get through, once we go through here, we get the cherry up there, who is shooting out bits of other cherries around the place. And basically, what we need to do is we need to just, and again, obviously you've got these floating platforms and oh, spikes! Don't run into that cherry. That would be really very dumb. By the way, when you've got the 2 in there, as you can see where I'm going with bridging the gap, the cherry starts to come down and starts to home in. So as soon as you've got 2, I would recommend getting all 3 blocks down at the bottom first and then mucking around. If you start doing 2 and leaving sort of 1 up in the middle, and the big cherry starts coming at you as well, then it gets very hectic. But yeah, still with the swirling blocks and the swirling spikes, not too many spikes in the way, you know, what in this block pushing segment. So that bit's really not so bad. This bit is though, or at least it is for first-time players, and when you've got no idea where you're going. Basically, obviously, you're over a pit here. You've got a kid chasing you, and these blocks. It is incredibly hard to know where you are supposed to go, especially here. So have I got this position right? I haven't got that position right, and as always tends to happen, because no matter if I start flailing around left and right as well, I'll find that I just miss every single block on the way down, and I'll land in the pit regardless of whether I stay in one position, whether I thrash about, whatever I do. That always seems to be the case. Okay, so let's go slightly to the left. Yeah, you need to go off screen. You need to go back off screen when you get up to the top one and land back on a block on the screen below it. I was just gonna let that play out. I moved to the left there, obviously, just so that I wouldn't die, just because I had safe ground there. But yeah, again, I fell all the way down. I think I moved a little bit as I was going through, but yeah, not 1 block did I land on. Not 1 bloody block in the entirety of falling down there did I land on. Fantastic, and just, I say, always seems to be the case. I don't know why. Right, can we make this block this time? Good. And hopefully I can remember where this block is. I think it's on the same... It's not. It's 1 over to the right. Fantastic. Okay, so it's just to the right of the sort of grey pillar in the background. Okay, now at least I think I've got an idea of where all the blocks are. Again, I wouldn't remember this, just, you know, off the top of my head. I'm obviously having to play through this a little bit and just get my bearings back a little bit, because, as I say, you know, the blocks are swirling all over the place. It is incredibly hard to see or indeed know where they're all going to be. So yeah, but I do actually. Once you know where you're going, I do quite like that floating or the swirling block spike gimmick thing. I seem to be getting a bit of lag here. I'm not quite sure why, but yeah. Anyway, thankfully, well, we got a few annoying jumps, but thankfully, especially after having beaten that swirling spike block section. Yeah, it's not like you fall down here and you're screwed. A bit like earlier screens, you know, right back in the hub that we saw at the very beginning. If you messed up on some of these, like cliff jumps or F jumps, then you were screwed. You pretty much had to, well, restart, because you'd be stuck in a pit, if you were, that you couldn't get out. So, yeah, thankfully, I can have as many goes at this as I like. There is no danger of me landing on spikes. I can't not get back up here, so... yeah, I can have as many goes as I like, but hopefully this doesn't take too long to do, because it can be quite annoying. But yeah, that's at least one saving grace to that. Make sure I hit the save as well. And now we get a few more of these jumps. Well, those ones, I must admit, the long jumps with the low ceiling are not so bad. Whoops. Okay, so through here, and then again. And again, this is this sort of shenanigans. It's not that bad, admittedly, and again, there's no danger there of like falling onto spikes, and it's not like the save is a million miles. You know, you're having to do a whole section again. But seriously, it's completely unnecessary. And here I'm going to set this up as well. So we've got another F jump there that we have to pull off. And of course, if you screw that up, you've got to restart and go do it all over again. And then we'll jump through here, and we'll go to the next section, which I believe, yep, is the boss. And this one's pretty reasonable. So he has a few attacks. I'll maybe sort of go through them when I get a moment. Incidentally, yeah, you don't get hit there when he goes through. So okay, let's go through his attacks. So he's got two attacks initially. So he goes down to the middle and he does either this attack with like the swirling projectiles, and I would favour going to one side of the screen away from the middle to avoid this. Then when he goes off screen, he does one of two things. So he either shoots the rocks that sort of just plummeted straight down, as we saw previously, or he does this attack where he sort of shoots rocks upwards, and they split apart. So we've seen both of those, so that's good. And then this is his second attack in his whoops, I need to hit the save before to kick off the boss. And then that was his so this is his second attack during the first part of the boss. So he summons these energy spheres, then turn into, like, I don't know, missiles or whatever they are, that again get sent down to the ground. It can be really nice patterns. They can be really horrible. So, and I unfortunately got a really horrible one on the go where I got the furthest so far. Yeah, and when he comes down, when he shoots the rocks down there, and he sort of goes to the bottom of the screen, just shoot him when he comes down. And the other one where it's the falling rocks, or just nothing but falling rocks, just yeah, you can stay on the ledge and shoot, because he himself does not actually hit you. He as a hitbox, or he doesn't seem to have a hit. Yeah, he does not seem to have a hitbox. I'm not in the best of positions here. I want to get over to the right hand side. Cool. And we've got one more hit left. So, yeah, I've got one hit left as well, as I always do. I've got one hit left, and I just got hit. I do prefer the swirling sphere attack. And by the way, that was horrible. That was absolutely garbage. I would recommend. Yeah, I prefer this one over the other one where he sort of goes to the high up and shoots the spheres that then turn into arrows, for want of a better phrase. I do just generally find this one is a bit easier to dodge and generally more predictable, but they're about as much of a muchness, to be honest. I do prefer this one that he's doing now over the falling rocks one, because as you can see, or as you saw last time, there is a possibility you could very well get screwed over with the other one, with like rocks falling in between. Oh, sorry, in platform, over platforms, so you have to sort of like fall off the platforms in order to survive, and so jump off like in between the rocks. But if he sort of does the rocks, or the rocks come down immediately either side of you, twice in a row, then that can be really, really irritating to dodge. So, yeah. As a general rule, I would prefer, yeah, this attack for the initial one, before I can actually get a chance to hit him, and then definitely this one over the solid falling rocks in the second part. But to be honest, they're pretty much both in terms of which one I would prefer. They're neither of them, neither one either time are that annoying. So there's pretty much a much of a muchness. But yeah, if I'm going to prefer one over the other, those would be my preferences. Yeah, that one just makes me nervous. Okay, I think that was all 4 times you did this one. So I can't complain there. Nothing dickish here. Cool. Unless something absolutely horrible happens. Good. Phase 1 done, at any rate. Enter Phase 2, which thankfully there is a save. So for sort of like the midpoint. And if this looks absolutely garbage, if you think this looks absolutely garbage, you'd be right. But I'm somewhat glad it's at the start of the fight, because believe me, however many times I die here, could be 100. It is really only. I'm not going to say I'm not going to die to other attacks during phase 2 of this boss fight, but believe me when I say that attack. Oh my god, the last frigging one. This attack is 10 times, if not more, annoying than the other ones he does. This is easily the most annoying one he does. This laser one, wow, that was about as bad as that could get. So that looks pretty horrific. But this is the one that's going to cause pretty much all the deaths. The other ones are not so bad in comparison. I don't know why I decided to go over to the middle, more in the middle there. Frankly, I don't quite know what a good strategy for this is. Again, it feels not as bad as Camellia 3's like final bit, because that's just insane and I hate it more than I hate pretty much anything ever. But oh my god, I hate swirling stuff and I hate this phase. Yeah, it's, as you can clearly see, I'm not getting past this first phase very, very, very often. I'm hoping that when I get to the next bit and we get to see the lasers after that, or get to that next point and get to that next time, that I'll complete this phase of the boss, because yeah, the rest, again, that's pretty nasty. But yeah, it's the first phase that's going to get you. Believe me, the lasers really not so bad. This bit as well, provided I don't get dicked over, should really not be that bad. He basically just sort of combines all the sort of attacks from previous bosses, or some of the attacks from previous bosses, and yeah, that's it. So, like I said, I know I died like maybe once, possibly twice, I can't remember, to the, that was terrible. Although it does give me pause now. Yeah, this auto-scroll section just kicks off as the minute you get into it the first time, but now, frankly, there's a save there. It auto-saves, and now it doesn't actually start off till I've actually saved. Yeah, it gives me a chance to just talk about that. Yeah, from what I remember, his second sort of phase is sort of borrowed from attacks from all the other bosses. So, for instance, that first one is borrowed from the very first boss I fought. That was sort of the life area where I was using the bubbles. The laser one was obviously from the third one I fought. So the sort of alien one in the sort of the laser area, in the futuristic robot laser area, and then his one where he shot the sort of the yellow missiles again, borrowed from the second one, which was in the, I can't remember where it was, but anyway, the second path, the one that used the platforms, the wall jumps, and the fans as a gimmick, and then so those are the 3 bosses we fought earlier, and then the rock one obviously came from the rock guy himself. So yeah, he does 4 attacks, all based on attacks from previous bosses, and yeah, the first one is the one that's going to screw you over 99% of the time. The other ones are nothing in comparison to that. So small mercy. It is the attack that's first, and yeah, once you get past that, if it took you like 50 goes or so, or even however long, however many minutes, whatever, to just get past that first phase, and when you sort of, because you didn't know what was coming, died on the laser bit, the next move, yeah, comfort yourself with the fact that yeah, the first move there is easily the worst. And anyway, here we've got a auto-scrolling section, and well, yeah, wow, that was absolutely awful. I did not, and yeah, the other thing as well is you have to hit the save in order for the section to actually kick off and trigger. So yeah, well, let's talk a bit more about it now. The first bit is fairly straightforward. It's pretty obvious where you need to go. You need to make a long jump here, but not so you jump into that spike, which I foolishly did a couple of turns ago. Then we've got this F jump, which is okay, I guess. You can sort of make, so down there where I previously was, there's a corner jump there that you can pull off, but if I were in an absolute pinch, I might do that, but if I pull off the F jump first or second go, then I'm in time and I don't have to worry. So then, when you get over there, lovely little troll, there is a block on that side, and actually that's where where you have to go over there, by the way, in order to trigger that out, but yeah, ultimately, that's not the end goal, so yeah. Anyway, proceed on. Now we've got a cherry firing section, which isn't so bad. A wave of spikes, which again, just sort of the beginning bit of this is probably the trickiest bit. Once you get going, it's really not so bad. Now we've got some of these rotating platforms. Don't worry, by the way, about the debris or anything that's falling from the ceiling. That won't damage you. So yeah, it's just sort of there as an aesthetic in the background. Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh no! Oh, I was going to say there's no sort of need to go too slow there, but yeah, that was I was sort of dilly-dallying a little bit there, and I nearly paid for it. And as for this sort of bit, I'm a bit confused as to what this bit really is, because it's just so easy. No one surely is going to try and go through the spikes there at the bottom. There's nothing. The two cherries there are straightforward, and all you've got is a set of two spikes there to jump over. Nothing fires at you. The spike itself doesn't come down to screw you over or anything. The top section of that is ridiculously straightforward. A nice little cutscene there, when something clearly exploded. And okay, I will clear this bit. I've only been going just under half an hour or so, so I shall clear this bit. And this bit is a wraparound screen. So for the most part, it's okay. There are a few manoeuvres in here that are kind of irritating, but yeah, for the most part, it's all right. Did nothing new particularly. The wraparound screens have been done before, but yeah, the music is a nice kind of it gives off a nice kind of like vibe, like you're getting close, you're working your way towards something, and yeah, it's not a bad little section. And the climbing section, by the way, I know I sort of once I got past I've got a fair distance through. I actually kind of cleared that very quickly, but yeah, honestly, the climbing section I don't find that difficult. Admittedly, if you don't know what's coming, then you're probably you'll have to spend a bit of time, obviously, familiarising yourself with what's coming. But when you know what's coming and you know all the tricks, I mean, particularly the bit with the fake block that makes you have to backtrack. Obviously, whoops! The first time you play it, you don't know that's there. You're going to get screwed over by that. But you have plenty of time to get back, so it's not too bad. Cool. Pull that off. That spike there, by the way, the one that I'm sort of shooting at, is one you might get hit quite a bit on there when you're trying to make that jump up. It is a bit of a pain in the neck, but thankfully, because I knew it was there, I was prepared for it, and I made sure that I didn't jump too high, so that or indeed too far, or too high, mostly I suppose, into it, because yeah, it's off again. It's off screen. You don't know it's there, and it is deceptively low based on when you're actually going to reach it. So yeah, that spike there at the bottom below to the right of that save is a bugger, and yeah, you're likely to get caught out by that a fair few times. Okay, there's a block that's not the furthest over to the right, but one over from the furthest to the right, just so I know where I'm heading for here. And yeah, this is pretty much the end of the climbing section. And we're done. Yay. Yeah, very short and sweet area, that. And that brings us to this area. I figure I might actually do half of this now, because I'm slightly conscious of the time. Not for this one, but for next time, in terms of it going on for quite a long time. But let me just show off, and again, I'll go to the left first. You can kind of see there an icon that looks very much like a maze. So yeah, we're going to have a little maze section over to the left-hand side, but that's going to take a bit more time than I'm probably going to have, or I probably want to do for this video. So I'm going to head off to the right-hand side, and we're going to do what's over there. And we get a jigsaw piece. So yay, puzzles! Now I know there are going to be people who would absolutely hate this section. I'm just like, what are you doing putting puzzles in my I Wanna Be game or whatever? But, well, this isn't an I Wanna Be game, it's just Domu. There's no I Wanna Be anywhere. But, yeah, I'm absolutely fine with puzzles. Less so, perhaps, I would say, to sort of absolute standalone puzzles like this one, where I'm not actually doing anything with the kid. It sort of feels very, very puzzly. But yeah, I know there are people who be absolutely hating these types of things. But I actually really like them, and I think these are well, two of them are pretty easy anyway, and one of them was a bit of a challenge. We'll see. I'll say that one for last. But yeah, to be honest, I found two of them very easy anyway. But that's because of what I kind of grew up with, and I've sort of done these puzzles to death when I was younger. So anyway, first puzzle. Well, let me just go down here again. There are three areas we can go: up, down, and right. So yeah, I'm going to go up first. And we get this one. Now, you don't really get told what it is you're supposed to do, but I guess if you sort of muck around long enough, it will be obvious enough what you need to do. But basically, we have this 5x5 grid up here, and effectively, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to select every square. And as you can see here, from the position of the cherry up in the top left-hand corner, we've got 2 squares we can move to. So let's click on this one. And then you can see we've now got a whole bunch of squares that we can move to next, and they're all in an L shape. So, with me growing up playing chess, playing chess since I was 8, it's a knight's move. So I'm very, very familiar with puzzles like cover every square of the board with a knight, or queen or rooks or something like that. And knights tend to be the classic ones, obviously, because they move in sort of weird ways. So I'm going to deliberately mess up here. So let me just show off what happens if you obviously run out of moves. So. At the moment, you can still see it's telling me squares I can go to, but yeah, eventually I'm going to run out of squares to go to, and at that point in time, let's just go to the corner. Yeah, I've now got no available squares. The only 2 squares I could get out of this corner are here and here. Or sorry, yeah, I don't think you can see my mouse, probably not, but hopefully you can obviously see where the thing's being placed, because obviously that's where the square has moved to. So yeah, apologies if you can't see the mouse, but anyway, yeah, the 2 knight squares away from the corner I can no longer get to, so now I'm out of moves and I failed. But yeah, I deliberately failed that, in case you were wondering. So let's actually solve it for real, and the key to this one is ultimately, as almost all kind of knight ones are, or at least a helpful tip is, think about the corners. So let's go here again. So now I can go into a corner here. If I didn't go into this corner, I've then only got one way of getting to it. But then once I've got into it, I've then got no way of getting out. So all the corners, you can only get to them via 2 squares. And that means I need to get into the corner and then out. So every time it's possible to go to a corner or move to a corner, I should do. So corner, out, corner, out, corner, out. So that's all the corners taken care of, and from this point and from here on in, I hope I don't mess this up. That would be terribly embarrassing. I tend to want to keep to the outside as much as possible. So if you go round in a circle on the outside, things should work out. And yeah, it looks like that is indeed the case. Yes, I was pretty confident about that, and then ending up in the middle. You don't have to end up in the middle, but yeah, that's how I would solve that puzzle, at least anyway. And then we'll collect our little icon here, and we're done. So yeah, once you get to a point where you can move to a corner, move to it, and then from that point in time, work outwards as much as you can, and you'll solve that, no problem. So that's puzzle 1. Puzzle 2. We go down here, and as you can see, on the left-hand side, we've got the numbers, obviously in ascending order, 1 through to 15, and it's basically one of those slide block puzzles where you've got one empty space, and you have to move around the numbers so that they are in order. And yeah, I had one of these growing up when I was younger, and yeah, I would say the trick to this is do it in a snaking fashion. So what I mean by that, and I'll try and get the 2, 3, and 4s now over to where they need to be, although I've not really done a very good job of this actually. But yeah, anyway, I've not really demonstrated that very well at all. But the snaking sort of fashion here, I've got the 1 in the corner, and I've got 2, 3, 4 in a line now. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how you would sort of go, or how I would recommend going about this. So let's do that with the other ones as well. So I've got a 5 over here that I'm going to get over to the right hand side, because that's the one I'm going to want to be closest to the left hand side when I've got all the pieces in place. So I've got my 5 pretty much in place now. Now let's try and get the 6 into a decent position. So I'm going to move the 5 up there and the 6. So now I've got the 6 and the 7. So now let's just tag the 8 onto the end of that. My could shorten that a bit, couldn't I? So now I've got 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. So 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's just a case of working those round. There we go. So that's the top 2, and the top 2, I mean, you can obviously do this any way you like. I mean, I'm just doing it in ascending numerical orders because it's easy to keep track of. But you could do this. You could do this via, 1, 5, 9. You could do 1, 5, 9, 13. Get the left-hand column sorted, and then do 2, 6, 10, 14. But I mean, it's up to you. But it's probably just the easiest way of thinking about it. Is just to sort of do it in ascending order from the top. So the first 2 rows tend to be quite easy. The last row is a bit more of a thing because, well, let me demonstrate it. So again, I'm probably trying to do this deliberately wrong. And if it just so happens to work out, no, it's not going to work out, that's good. Yeah, the problem here, so let's actually get this up there. So I'll get my 9, 10, 11, 12, because I got that in the snaking pattern that I wanted to. Now it is absolutely impossible for me to get the bottom row correct without disrupting the next row above me. So I cannot possibly get 13, 14, 15 in the correct order without mucking around with the 9, 10, 11, 12. It's absolutely impossible. So for the last one, you're also going to need to pay attention to the 13, 14, 15 and plan ahead just so that will work out. So I think that's not quite right. That might be. No, I don't think that is either. No, okay, so that's not quite right either, so I'm going to have to muck around a bit more. To be honest, the sort of the last this I hope this doesn't become into a bit of an embarrassment, but the last bit is always a little bit of a thing, having to muck around getting the bottom row aligned as well. But if you persist at it, if you kind of just wiggle things around, it does tend to work out. And there we are. Okay, so I've done a bit of wiggling. I wasn't really paying too much close attention, but eventually I managed to get 13, 14, 15 in the right order, and I got 9, 10, 11, 12 in the snaking order as I wanted to. So yeah. It's always a little bit of a muck around at the end there. I don't have a sort of like a foolproof strategy ever really for dealing with the last bit. It's almost just a bit kind of, well, we'll just play around a bit and see what, just kind of get it done. It will go down eventually. As you start mucking around. But yeah, anyway, those 2 problems are pretty straightforward. I say I've grew up playing chess, and I've grown up with one of those things, whether it be numbers, whether it be shapes, letters, or such like that. So yeah, I'm very familiar with those, with the slide block puzzles like that. So that brings us to the third puzzle, and this is a doozy. This took me quite some time. So this is sort of, if you remember my Let's Play of I Want to Be the Overlord, or indeed you've played other games like that have these kind of things, we've got some blocks here that we have to, or that we can direct. So let's at least let's set one up, and you can see these 3 coloured blocks here as well. Yeah, they basically control the spikes down there on the right hand side. So if I push this block over to the right, I've got rid of this spike. So yay! So I can now go over here, and I'm going to have to get rid of all 3 spikes here clearly in order to progress. But here's the problem: while, for example, this sort of beige orangey one is sort of okay to get to, but I'm still going to need 2 blocks to get it, so I would have had to, I mean, there are other ways you can do it, but I would still need to build something of a blockade in order to get to it. The same thing with the blue one. So I don't know if I can demonstrate that. It's a bit more tricky to demonstrate the blue one, but anyway, yeah, trust me on that. Again, it's sort of next to a block so that it can sort of reside there happily anyway, so that's okay. But the big problem is the red one, because basically all the time the block is going to transition through it. So that's a bit of a problem. So the trick here is you want to build a bridge. You want to start building these blocks as such. So I'll build a bridge all the way to the right. And as you can see, even by doing that, I'm still not even going to reach this little block, this red area where I need to get my the solid block on. So now I've built my bridge, I can take away the one that's furthest over to the left-hand side and start repeating the process. So yeah, this is how you would go about building the bridge. So there we are. That's the red one done. So as it will quickly become obvious, so let me push this up and then let me go over here to the blue one. As will quickly become obvious, it is absolutely impossible now with those two for me to get a block on this one, unless maybe I'd done some absolutely masterful setting up beforehand. It is impossible for me to get a block here, so I can't get that. Yeah, I can't get the beige one or the orange one on there. So how on earth can I actually do this? Well, the trick is, thankfully, and obviously it's designed that way, the one that's now covering the red one is the middle block. So I did the blue one just to sort of make it so that I couldn't really get through. Now if I do this one first, I can take out the orange or beige one and actually move the kid in. So that is a lovely little kind of lovely little detail. So now it's just a case of getting set up, and I need to figure out how on earth I'm actually going to do it. Yeah, so now it's a case of getting the blue one on, and I can actually progress. Yeah, how am I actually going to get the blue one there? It's going to be interesting. Okay, I think. Not sure this is going to work, to be honest. Yes, this is not going to work. I'm going to think about how on earth I'm actually going to get the get that there now. I know what I'm going to do. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm going to do it that way. No, I don't want to move you. I don't want to move you. Okay, we'll move you down then. Fine. That resets you. Yeah, the blue one obviously I had in place just from having built the bridge earlier, but now that that's gone, this isn't going to work because I can't get. Wow. Okay, here's the ridiculous part of the Let's Play. Okay, I think I've got it now. Put a block there. Yeah. Okay, and use the other two blocks to get through. Right, okay, that was a bit of a palaver. I was having a huge trouble actually seeing how I was going to get that there. But anyway, yeah, get the blue one. Now we can get the icon. And now, of course, we're going to need to get this block. But that one is much easier to get. So I'll just do the pattern I did right at the beginning. Of course, do not move the one that's covering the red spike. If you move that, then obviously the spike will reappear below you and you'll get shish kebabbed. But yeah, I really like that starting block puzzle. And of course, the trick is, I can move that now. The trick is to realise that you have to keep the red one depressed, or the block over the red one all the way through. Otherwise, as far as I'm aware, it's impossible to get 3 blocks on the 3 coloured icons to get all 3 spikes completely out of the way. But yeah, that's how you pull that off. Took me a bit of time to actually realise that. But once you realise that, and it also took me a little bit of time there to get the blue one sorted. But yeah, anyway, a fairly fun puzzle, and yeah, I really like that area. So I know there will be some people who absolutely detest that, but oh well. And as you can see there, I've collected 3 diamond icons or whatever they were, and they've taken away the spikes from what looks like the top platform, and then the bottom 2 of the next 2 of the bottom 3. So yeah, we've got 3 over there. There are 3 over here. In fact, I'll show it off. I'll just go again. I went here earlier. I'll go into this area. I'm not going to do this video. I'll save that for next time. But yeah, you can see again the 3 diamonds. In fact, I'll hit the save. Why not? There we go. You can see the 3 diamond icons there. They're going to clear out the other 3 spikes, and then we'll be able to ascend the tower blocks, or the tower of blocks, and progress. So yeah, pretty happy with that progress. Gone on for about 45 minutes or so, but yeah, got through another area, beaten another boss, cleared out some puzzles, and yeah, next time, what I'm hoping will be the finale of this project, because there's really not much left to go. At least from memory, I don't think there's much left to go. So yeah, I'm hoping next time will be the finale. And yeah, that will be the end of Domu, if it all goes well. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and yes, stay tuned for what I hope to be the next part, where we'll go through this maze section. And yeah, well, since I'm hoping it's the final part, we'll be taking on, presumably, a final boss. But yeah, I'll leave it there, and hope to see you next time. Until then, cheerio.